A very warm welcome to all of you to Clojure. Uh, a few months ago, we did a Clojure meetup at HelpShift, and there were a few folks in the audience. Pradnesh was there, Jaju was there, and the idea came up that hey, we should have a Clojure conference. And some of us were skeptical, like, is the Clojure community in India big enough? Are we there yet? But looks like we are. So very, very warm welcome to everyone, and thank you. It's all of you that made this possible by signing up, by showing up. We have a lot of people who've come from Bangalore. We have speakers who've come all the way from London, so thank you. Let's start in the spirit of any Clojure conference with some definitions. So what is a conference? The word conference derives from the Latin conferre, to bring together. It basically means to have a conversation, to talk. So one of the values of Clojure is conversation. We've made some design decisions to encourage conversation, right? One of them being that we have roundtable seating instead of theater-style seating. The idea is that we want you to talk to your neighbors. Ideally, you should sit on a table which is not full of your friends. So I can see the NILENSO gang sitting together. I can see the HelpShift gang, the Conquer gang. So get off your own company table and go sit somewhere else, please. This is your opportunity to meet other Clojurians from India. This is your opportunity to meet people who you've only met on Slack before and meet them face to face. So please have a conversation. I put a picture of a chai tapri because the Indian version of a water cooler conversation is the chai tapri, right? A lot of companies, we have this culture where sometime in the afternoon we'll all head out for a chai and we'll just stand around in a group and chat. And that's when a lot of exchange of ideas happens. And that's what this conference is really about. Learn something, teach something. Doesn't matter what your experience level is, everyone has something to contribute. Also, by design, we have chai and coffee for you throughout the day. So at any point of time, feel free to step out, have a chai coffee, and have a chai tapri conversation. Another thing we've done by design is have a 15-minute break between talks. This time is for Q&A. So if you want to ask questions to the speaker, do that. If you want to step out and have a chai, do that. But keep the conversation going. What I'd love to have in this conference is, when you walk past a school or a college and it's their lunch break, you know how there's a buzz in the air because everyone's talking to each other? That would be awesome to see. That's when, we'd feel that, okay, we did a good job of bringing people together and encouraging conversation. So please get off your comfort tables and go sit somewhere else. Just do that. All right. Another value that we hold very dear is being inclusive. We want this community to be open, welcoming to everyone. Doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, whether you're male, female, whatever, doesn't matter. Everyone is welcome here. So please be nice to everyone. If you've been practicing Clojure for 5 years and somebody's new and they ask you like what seems to you like a stupid question, don't be mean to them, be supportive, be nice. And let's try and make this a warm and welcoming experience, a safe place for everyone. Most importantly, have fun. I think one of the things that the Clojure community does pretty well is bring art and creativity into programming. So if you were here before and you heard the music, I wanted to let you know that the music that you heard was synthesized with Clojure. These were all tracks that were made by MetaX, which Sam Aaron started, and if you've used Overtone, the music synthesis library, that's what all this was made with. So isn't it awesome that Clojure can be used to make music and art and so many different things? So let your creativity flow, come up with some ideas, have fun. Okay, so these were the core values, okay? Conversation, inclusiveness, and fun. Now let's get on to the logistics of the day. So good news, Wi-Fi is available. use Novotel as the Wi-Fi name and Novotel123, super secure conference password. Please keep in mind that there are 3 options, I think conference code, guest code, and one more, but use the conference code option and use Novotel123 as the password. That will get you all on the Wi-Fi. We're tweeting from in_Clojure. That's our Twitter handle. And we're using the hashtag #InClojure. No space, no underscore, nothing. So please use these. Please do live tweet the conference if you want. There are people who couldn't make it but would love to follow what's going on here. So take pictures, send them out, and tell the world, tell your friends what's happening here. That would be awesome. You might have noticed that there is a board outside, like a big checkerboard. And when you entered, there was a Rich Hickey name tag, right? Next to the name tag, there were 2 parentheses. So one fun thing that we wanted you all to do is one person hold one and the other person hold the other, and you can put yourself in parentheses and take pictures. So that might be a fun activity. Also some fun pictures for Twitter. So go and do that. The schedule has been on the website. Just a small change. We intentionally started 15 minutes after time. But this is the order of the talk. So we have progressive web apps with Clojure script as the first talk. Then we have functional programming in the large, functional composition. Then we have lunch, unsessions, object functional systems, and the last talk is Onyx. So there is also a schedule outside if you're ever lost about what's coming next. And there is a schedule on your IDs, so you can stay up to date with what's coming next. Please let us make sure that we keep everything on time. So come back into the hall after lunch at 1:30. That is important. We want your feedback. So after every talk, we've kept a handy link, inclojure.org/#feedback. That's where you can go, and I have a link there to a Google form where you can add feedback about every specific talk. This data would be really important for the speakers and for the organizers, so we can do a better job of organizing next time, and the speakers can improve on their own talks and maybe present it elsewhere. So your feedback is super valuable. Please leave it there. Unsessions is something that we haven't detailed too much. But the idea of an unsession is that typically what happens in a conference is one person is standing here and talking to everyone. So what we wanted to do was break that down and break up into small groups who can sit around a round table and have some kind of discussion. So we're going to, I'll tell you exactly how it will work a little later, but we have some people who want to teach something, and we have some people who want to learn something, and we want to put these 2 groups together. That's the big idea. So we have some mentors for some topics who are pre-decided. They've already been told about this. But if you want to be a mentor, then we're going to have a sign-up sheet. And I will announce the details after lunch. So 1:30 is when we'll start the unsessions. Also during the unsessions, we are going to have a quiz. And in that quiz, we are going to be asking some interesting questions from the world of programming and other things. And we're giving away $50 ebook vouchers from our amazing community supporters, No Starch Press. So if you've heard of the book Clojure for the Brave and True, No Starch Press is the publisher of that book. So you can use this $50 to buy that book and give it to someone who wants to learn Clojure. On that note, I'm going to ask a question now, and if someone can get the answer correct, I'm giving out one of these right away. So the question is, these 5 names, what's the link between them? Who wants to go? Yeah. Can someone give him a mic?
All of them are connected to Lisp in some way. Alonzo Church came up with the this lambda calculus.
Yes.
McCarthy this created Lisp.
Yes.
Friedman, I guess, is the author of The Little Lisper and the series of this.
But he has another interesting, more monumental achievement. What did Friedman do? What did Steele do? So you can actually connect the dots and you reach somewhere. I think the last name is clear to everyone, right?
Yeah, that is Rich Hickey.
Yeah, so what did Rich Hickey do?
Create Clojure.
Okay, so he created Clojure, he created Lisp.
So Steele, I guess, created Scheme.
And what else did Guy Steele do? So Friedman and Steele are the interesting ones here.
So there was one paper by where the guy proposed to not to have to basically have a lazy cons.
Okay.
That was
okay. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So the link is that it started with lambda calculus, then we went to Lisp, then we went to Scheme, then Friedman did Scheme, Guy Steele did Java and Scheme, and then we have Rich Hickey who created Clojure on top of Java. So all these names are linked, but I think I am going to give it to you because you got most of it. So why don't you come on up? And let's give him some applause, guys. So please keep the applause going throughout the day, okay? For the speakers, for whoever wins these prizes. Awesome. All right. Just switch back to the presentation. Okay, so NILENSO has some amazing puzzles that they're doing. Can the NILENSO folks please stand up? So they're sitting way in the back over there. Go talk to them. They're running some puzzles, and if you get the puzzles correct, I think they're giving away books, right? Okay. Okay, so one of the puzzles involves making a cube, but that's not going to win you any prizes. But go talk to them whenever, make conversation, and solve some puzzles. Oh, before I forget, can all the speakers stand up, please? So can we all give them a huge round of applause? We have 3 speakers who came from Bangalore, 1 local resident of Pune, and 1 person who came all the way from London. Speakers put in a lot of effort to prepare their talks, to give us some interesting content to think about. So I think they really, really deserve our thanks. So thank you, folks, for submitting your proposals, and thank you for coming here to speak. Finally, at the end of the day, we have happy hours. It's not going to be here. We have to vacate the hall, and we have to go up to the pool side. But that's another place where you should try and hang out with people who are not from your own company or make some new friends. So try to keep that as your goal for the day. Meet 3 strangers, talk to them about something new, and that, I think, would be a really good takeaway from the conference. Again, keep in mind that we do have a code of conduct. It goes towards our value of being an inclusive and a safe place. So follow the code of conduct. You can read about it on the website. Finally, we had a state of Clojure survey that I sent out in the welcome email. Did everyone receive the welcome email? And how many of you actually filled in the survey? Okay, here's an interesting statistic for you. 73.6% of all stats are made up. This is an ironic statement, but the fact is that I only got 20 responses. That's not enough responses to actually show you any results. So those of you who have not filled in the state of Clojure survey, please go ahead and do it now. Get on the Wi-Fi and just do it. It's not going to take you more than 3 minutes, I promise. It's very basic questions. It's about people's experience level with Clojure. It's about which languages you're coming to Clojure from and what tools you use to actually do Clojure. So please do fill in this survey, and if we get enough responses, maybe we can present the state of Clojure in this room at the end of the day. All right, with that, I am going to hand it over to your first speaker. So please give a big round of applause for Tejas Dinkar. Nice hat, Tejas. Tejas is the CTO of Quintype. They use Clojure in production. He's going to be talking about progressive web apps with ClojureScript. So if you're interested in using Clojure on the front end, you should definitely talk to Tejas. He might have good and bad things to say about it. So over to you, Tejas.